Welcome everybody to Hands-On. So today we're going to take a look into a Docker container that we're going to expose with a certain deployment and the service inside of a minikube cluster, right? So the idea is that we're going to use a deployment to generate a pod, and a pod in Kubernetes is the minimal expression that you can actually use, the minimal thing that you can use for a process to run, right? So and then we're going to expose it with the service. So let's go for it. Let's try it out. I'm going to try it out with this service, which is going to be fastify instead of using Express, because I'm always using Express. So let's try out something different to make it more fun. So I'm going to generate this folder with the npm init. I'm going to install fastify. Go to open in the Visual Studio Code. Fastify sample. Okay, that's good. We're going to create the index.js. We're going to require fastify. We're going to create also the image. Here, there is something in the documentation which is kind of important. It says here a very beautiful note. It says you should use the definition of the host and expose it, because otherwise it's not going to be exposed in the Docker port. So then when you try to expose it with minikube, it's not going to be there for you, basically. It's not going to be able to map it properly. So this is something that you should take into account for deploying with Docker, right? So always take a look into documentation. There we are. Let's see if this is working. Let's specify here a route. I'm going to make the eval of minikube. This is a very important command as well, because it will let you have a lot of things here as Docker containers running for you for minikube. So let's see one more time this index. Okay. I want to have the loggers there too. I will copy the whole example like they have right now. I will add here the address. There it is. One more. There it is. So we have the hello world. Perfect. Now let's go to our Visual Code. Let's create a Docker file from Node 12 Alpine, just to give it. To copy everything, just to make it. And then we're going to say, remember always when you copy this, try to add some docker ignore for things that you want to copy into the image on purpose, like .git. So let's say let me install. And then we start. That's the entry point, right? So here we're going to do one that's going to be the start. It is now that we're going to make the build of this image with this definition. Looks okay. Let's go. We're going to take a look into a deployment of Kubernetes. We're going to copy this guy. The definition of everything that's here is actually down here for each one of the different parts of this deployment. Take into account that deployment is not the most easy artifact. We can say it is pretty much complete because you have a lot of information there, like saying, as I said, whenever you create a certain deployment, you're creating a pod, and meaning that you can say how many replicas you're going to be consuming from there. You can also define, for example, how many resources you're going to be consuming from these pods as well, like how many CPUs, how much memory, and so on. So take into account to take a look into documentation for deployment definition, right? So I'm going to change this pretty fast into fastify, just like this. I'm going to say 2 replicas. So that's going to mean that you're going to have 2 pods. I'm going to add one more clause here. Image pool policy. Never. I'm going to expose 3000. The container port is going to be working with 3000. That's what I'm saying there. So I'm going to apply it. Should be right? Yeah. You can see that here. This is pretty interesting as well. You should have a command line. If you're going to be working with minikubes, just try to have something that helps you to know where you are. Because probably you're going to be working with minikube and you're going to have a certain namespace and you want to take a look into where are you right now and which namespace you're going to be running, right? So this is pretty helpful for you. So Okay, two are running and two. Let's see the pods. The two are running. You see that there is one deployment with 2 pods. We're going to expose the deployment of fastify with the type node port and the port 3000, which is the one that's running the container. Looks okay. A lot of different things here, of course. Okay, so we need to expose it. Minikube. There we are. And there it is. That's the exposure of your minikube working with this deployment and the service. So I hope that you enjoyed the video of today. It's in regards to working with minikube and just trying out a little bit of a Docker container exposed with a certain deployment and the service. So let's take a look into one more thing, just for the fun of taking a look into some things. Get logs get pods. You can also say kubectl logs this, and you can see that this is running here. It's being exposed in the 000, right? You can also make shortcuts like SVC, but you can also have your own aliases and so on. So I recommend you take a look into some alias from oh my god shell or fish shell, anything that you want to use. You can also say describe and here you can see the description of this deployment. That's going to be working with the image of fastify port 3000, right? Just to take into look onto other things. So we did not see also the service, right? So we want to see the service. So we're going to say kubectl get service fastify deployment, and we can express how do we want to see it. In this case, I'm going to say o.yaml, and you can see this definition of this service, right? So whenever you create a certain artifact, you can actually see you can make a get of that artifact and then just make a O and define how do you want to see it in a JSON, in YAML. This is something that comes in many other cases as well. For example, if you want to work with some databases lets you expose some of the different sources or results in a certain shape. In this case, I'm using YAML because it's pretty clear. You can even copy the sky and paste it into your own definition and just make some small modifications, and then you're going to have the whole service already defined in the way that you want as base, with some small modifications so you can apply on it. So that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the video of today. If you like it, just give it if you like the video, just give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Have a good day. Ciao, ciao.